crime is mortal, and we gather here at the Proving Grounds to discuss the defendant, LUX. Today we're talking about Project LUX. This is a VR game on PlayStation 4 and on PC. And, this one's going to be kind of weird to talk about. It's essentially a visual novel game in VR. There's no dub. You have subs, but no dub in English, which is both good and bad, but I feel like it's bad in this scenario because wait, put folks down. Wait, let me explain why. Like, I agree, Japanese voice actors are almost always better than most English voice actors. Don't get me wrong on this, but we're talking about a VR game, and like one where you almost do nothing. Like, we're talking about incredibly few actual interactions with the game. You mainly sit here and listen to this character interact with another character. With the character you're fitting in the wall. I'll explain about that. But it just seems so bizarre. It probably would be better if you actually know the language, and it wouldn't seem so odd, because, you know, when you don't know the language, you're sitting there reading all the text boxes, and that also has its whole own problem when we get into some of the quality controls. But let's start with this thing. So the game opens up telling you that you are going to experience the memories of an agent who committed murder against the defendant LUX, and the game opens up as you in the role of the agent. So, what goes on here is you come to this artist whose name LUX. She's a short girl. She's not a child. She is an adult. She's just short. But, and she's voice acted by an anime voice actor. I think it also said she did her own motion capture on top of that. I can't remember the anime. I'll have to, because I never mentioned it. I know the anime a little. I've seen clips of it. I've never really actually like watched the anime itself. Man, I wish I could just sit down and watch a lot of anime. I've missed these years. But I'll try to throw in a little blur here of who it was, because even if I did, I probably wouldn't say the name right anyway. I mean, have you ever listened to me try and pronounce anyone's names? Really? Anyway. So you interact with LUX, and what you find out is, like, the world has advanced to a level where basically the majority of humanity lives in cyberspace. Like, nobody really does normal outside the cyberspace things. LUX is one of the few people who still lives in the real world. So this agent interacts with her with essentially a robotic body. He's not like, it's not his actual body. He's just in a body that he can interact with her, and you interact with dealings of getting artwork for the cyber universe and stuff, and some politics stuff about the world starts coming in, and then that has to do with a bit of the twist at the end of the game and that. But it's basically 99% of you listening these two characters interact. Now, LUX is animated very nicely. The voice actor does a great job. There are many nice, fun faces she does where she gets mad and stuff. That's all cool and dandy, but that's really all it is just listening to these two characters, and then maybe have some incredibly minor interaction, like look at something in the house. Then she continues on talking that. It's like there's not like any life-death choices of like things that really make a variety here, which is weird when the game boasts being 5 episodes. But like it took me like 2 hours to play the game. You gotta keep in mind I live stream, so I'm interacting with my viewers and making comments about the game. So you probably take all that out, and you could probably make the game like an hour to an hour 30 minutes, depending on how much you want to look around. Which there really ain't much to look around there. The setting is very little amount of any, like, there ain't a lot to look at here. There's not much. I mean, Lux is honestly the draw here, the interaction with a quote unquote waifu type character. Now, I believe Project Lux, I'm pretty sure, is also made by the same people who made the Spice and Wolf VR game, which I kind of feel like Project Lux was kind of the beta experiment of it, because Spice and Wolf's VR game, to my understanding, goes way more into a lot of interactions. Like, you can literally pat and pet the character's head and stuff. I haven't played Spice and Wolf, so I don't know if that one's any particular good. I kind of keep bothering limited one games about doing a physical version of it. It'd be nice, but and hopefully it'd be better on Project Lux. Because believe me, this is getting negative here, folks. So it gets into some political stuff, and I don't mean political as in like, oh, this is who I want you to vote for. I'm gonna deep throat my ideology down you forcibly and make you feel like a piece of crap for not agreeing with not that guy. Like, I mean, the politics of the fantasy world, But the big thing I think is really bad in this game is the subtitles. Not because they exist, because they have two horrible problems. The first big problem is the fact there were parts when I was playing through this game where they went on giant spiels of information, and I had no idea what they were saying because the subtitles didn't show up for them. I don't know if the game bugged out and didn't show it, or if they didn't actually put them there. I don't know, and I've looked into it and found countless other people having the same problem. So it's not like it was some small, like, just me type thing. So I feel like there were bits of the story I missed out, and I don't know if that's, like, just because I literally did miss some bits of information that weren't subtitled, or whether the game really was rushed into its conclusion story-wise, because I do feel like that. I do feel like it kind of rushed through a lot of the elements. Like, it's setting up this story that has political elements and stuff related, and it feels like you don't get a good foundation understanding of it before it starts climaxing into what's going on. The other problem is the quality. I know I'm not one to comment on this, but this is a pretty poor localization here, honestly. It really is. And the big kicker here, though, with all this is, I don't think this would be bad if it was priced appropriately. Like, if it's priced appropriately, I think this could be an experience worth maybe checking out as just maybe like an introductory thing to some VR stuff for that. It's not a super complex game or anything. It lets you get your feet a little wet into the VR. That it's not like you're jumping into killing floor or something fast paced in VR and you're like, oh. But this game on both Steam and on PS4 is $29.99. Questionable quality of localization. Hardly a game. Like, I know, like, when you look at story-based games like Telltale games, adventure games, visual novels, there's always this subjective argument of, is it really a game? Because, like, say, like, most people would count Danganronpa as a game, because on top of being heavy visual novel elements, you have a murder mystery, problem solving and stuff, versus another visual novel that may just literally have nothing but being a story. That is literally all Lux is interacting with this character and as a story. There is 2 endings. The game did also like to boast multiple endings, and by that we mean just 2. Just two endings. And I'm gonna get in that with the spoiler section, but it is very The other thing is, like Telltale games, like each episode has a credit roll in it. That's just as far as I know, this game wasn't released episode-wise, at least not as a commercial product. I think this was a Kickstarter game, I believe, so maybe that has something to do with the whole episode thing. But on PS4 and on Steam, they're not sold by episodes. They're all one giant thing, so maybe that's something more about the Kickstarter fundraising thing. But I hate when games usually do that. Like, I can understand with, like, when Telltale's do, like, episodes and stuff, but I really hate that. Getting to the end of the episode, get credits, and boop, yeah, I'm back in the game, and that it just feels weird to me. Feels weird to me, but that's more of a minor complaint. Project Lux, honestly, this is being incredibly kind. I wouldn't pay. This is gonna be tough, but I wouldn't pay more than $5 for this if I was you. Maybe 10, maybe if you want to push it a little, because, you know, the voice actor, the Japanese voice actor, is apparently a high tier actor, so that's probably where some budget money went into with this game. I mean, it's just hard to justify. It's hardly much of anything here. You don't even really get to interact with Lux personally. It's just listening to the character you're playing as talk to her, and then, like, at the end you make a choice that affects the ending, and it's just really disappointing me. Like, I heard this game was interesting, and I find out it's just this weird mixed opinion game. Like, there's people who like it. I'm not saying you can't like it or anything, obviously, but to me, I feel like it just feels like a beginner VR experience or some kind of a beta idea. Hopefully, like, Spice and Wolf turns out to be much more interesting. Head patting VR waifu, great stuff there. But you don't get to do that in this game, so it's really hard to recommend, and by that I mean I don't. There's a lot more interesting, even on PlayStation Store. I know PlayStation compared to PC has much lesser VR games, but there are vastly better VR games you could be getting on even the PS4 over Project Lux. And it's just, it's pricey. It's $24.99. And you could probably, like, speedrun the thing probably in 50 minutes if you wanted to literally spam through everything. Like, it's just a... It is just, like, even if all the problems I have with this game were polished, it's still hard to justify $24.99. It still is, even if it was polished. It just would make it not seem as whip-offly, because the quality control of the sub, in the fact that there were moments where the subtitles don't even fucking show up to tell you what's happening. I could have swore there was this one moment, literally, they were just going on a giant spiel, and I'm like, game, I don't know what anyone's saying, because you're not showing me anything. It just kind of feels like a joke. And as far as I know, they've never updated that. Because the game was out for a while before it got a physical version through Limited One Games, which is obviously what I get. What a surprise was surprise. But if you're interested in a physical copy of this game, you're looking at between $30 to $60 for this game, and the Limited One version is the only physical version of this game. There's no Japanese one or Asian one or anything. It is the only way to get this physical was the Limited One version. And there's only 5 listings of it on eBay right now, but they're not super expensive. Like, most of them are $39 to $40s, but there's one at $59.99. So it's not like as expensive as some limited games, but I can't recommend that price either. It's just not, like, maybe if you really like the voice actor, that's probably the best selling point here. If you really like the voice actor, maybe that might make it a selling point, but I'm not as heavily attached to the voice actor, so this honestly feels like a $5 experience to me. Like, I had more fun in the Danganronpa VR demo, which is free, than this game. Because there's interactions and all kinds of nice stuff in that. And that's just a demo. That's just a demo. That ain't even remotely even 25% as long as this game. But I feel like that's even a vastly better experience over there. And I'm still glad that was the very first thing I got to experience in VR. That was awesome. Awesome way to experience VR for the first time is the Danganronpa demo on PS4. But honestly, I can't recommend this game. It's overpriced by a lot. If you see it on a sale, maybe take a look at it. But for $25, unless you just happen to have a lot of cash to burn or something, I can't really recommend it. I don't think it's worth it at all. I honestly don't. So, let's quickly get into spoilers real quick for Project Lux. So, basically you find out, like, there's, like, this cyber war, and they want to use, like, Lux's art to, like, make progress, and then shit, like, like I said, I missed some stuff because of the subtitles, so I feel like it rushed into this. I'm like, I'm not sure I fully understand what's going on here. It's just really weird. But you have a face-off with Lux, who pulls out a gun, and she's basically going to kill herself because she doesn't want you all to take her away. She wants to live. And you basically get a choice to stop her or not stop her. Now, you probably would think stopping her would be the right thing to do, right? Right? Well, guess what? It's not. You get shot and you get bad ending. You're supposed to not stop her. Now, you might be, like, confused as I was on, like, what the fuck was... Because when it went through the credits, and it's just, like... You stop her on that, and she shoots herself, and you dispose the body, and you now know what led to the conclusion of the beginning of the game, the court trial and stuff. And you'll care the comments on what happened during the trial. They basically didn't come to any conclusion, and you just get fired instead of going to jail or anything. And your character leaves in their actual body and goes back to Lux's place, and you find out that Lux faked killing herself, which is all more confusing considering in the bad ending you get shot. So, but what the game did is there's a moment where she hugs you near the end of the game, and she uses her finger to draw letters out on your character's back, so she could convey a message to him about what she was going to do. And since this drawing that was only viewing his memories, not his feelings and such, they didn't know that. So this moment could have been really interesting if there was some way to actually convey that message to the player. This could have been like an awesome fourth wall, Neo, Danganronpa, crazy awesome thing, but no, there's nothing conveyed to you as a player. You don't actually get to know she did this. Nothing signals that she did this. I don't have the answer on how they could have done that. But I feel like if they did, it would have actually made the build up to this moment probably more interesting. But, you know, in the good ending, you basically live with Lux because you got fired and she wanted to live with someone, and I guess waifu acquired, and they live happily ever after, I guess. It just... I don't know how to say. Just... I would recommend avoiding this game, honestly. Like, even at $5, and that's being kind. Like, Pad still makes fun of this game. It's a shame, honestly, because the idea isn't necessarily bad. Because, I mean, VR has a lot of different applications, and having interactions with a waifu character is probably a really nice idea. I know when I saw Spice and Wolf's VR game, it looked really nice. So, I'm hoping that one might get a physical release down the road. Because I'm pretty sure it is by the same people who made this, and hopefully they took a lot of criticism with this and did a lot more things with Spice and Wolf's VR. Maybe one day we'll see what that's all about, but that'll be another day. But yeah, I don't recommend this one. It's a pretty hard pass unless you want to spend a few bucks on a sale, assuming it ever goes on sale for anything lower than $24.99. It's a very expensive game, and I don't feel it's worth the price. Anyway, if you feel like you learned anything interesting in this review, please feel free to leave a like. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below or message me on Twitch. If you feel like you learned absolutely nothing at all, feel free to leave a dislike, guilt free. And until next time on the Proving Grounds, I'll be hanging out with my waifus.